Hey, what do you see in the picture? What do you see?
A man playing a guitar.
Okay.
It's a portrait that has an interpretation of many things within many pictures. Yeah, I think.
Okay, that's a very scientific answer. Can we please go back? Can we have basic answers? What do you see? Hey, these intelligent professionals.
An old man and a grandma.
Thank you. How many see the vase?
I do. The lady that she's carrying on her head, eh?
No, the vase between the grandmother and the grandpapa.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes.
Sure.
It's sort
That's
of a
what I
gold
was.
one.
That's what I was waiting for. That you see
There
that
it is.
that's therein lies the lesson of this picture. That just because you don't see the vase initially, or you don't see the woman in the grandfather's ear initially, doesn't mean it's not there. So just because you choose not to learn about money doesn't change that things that you don't know can hurt you. So ignorance is not bliss when it comes to finances.
Oh.
Okay? So you need to invest the time and learn so that you break that ignorance. And the Hebrew darkness in Hebrew actually means ignorance. So when you don't see, some people don't see the guitar player, some people don't see the lady at the back. Those are all blind spots in your finances. And just because they're blind spot doesn't mean they don't crash you. You know, so that's what Money Fundi does, and that's what the book does. It illuminates and brings light to some of the financial blind spots that we all have. Okay. All right. So this was taken at university party, like after the party, and these are first years, like a freshers bash, I guess, type of scene. So listen to what their answer to this is.
How many cents are in 1 rand?
Cents, 100. How many cents in 1 rand? 100. 100 cents. 100 cents. Wow. It depends how many cents.
I'm worried because they were not drinking alcohol. It was actually soda.
What's the answer?
Oh, come on, it's 100 cents. But I'm just worried that with cream soda, not a beer.
Hey, treasure.
So now imagine this. This person finished high school and is confused by such a simple question. Ne? And obviously in my classes, like physical classes, people laugh about this and stuff like that. And then I asked the question of, yeah, maybe you know that simple answer, but there are such things where maybe they're asking, if you make a comparison to a car, they're saying, what type of petrol does your finances take? And most people don't know if it's unleaded or leaded or diesel. You know, so we all need to, and I mean, if they made it to varsity, it means they passed matric with exemption. So they have the normal type of education that gets you a matric with exemption, but clearly they missed certain aspects of finances. Okay, so it leads us to mfundo. Mfundo in English means education or educated one, stuff like that. And typically, most of us, this is how we leave school. Negative relationship with money, flawed financial decision making. Most people, if you ask them, okay, what did you base this decision on, this financial decision on? Usually it's emotive. You know, I was going through the mall and boom, I really had to have that watch or that shoe. Or I was happy with my old car, but then my friend bought this car and then I needed to upgrade. Or they just called me and say, I pre-qualify for X amount and I took X amount. You know, there are banks that have beautiful stories or scary stories of someone going to just seek 5,000 Rand. The bank tells them they qualify for 50 and they take the 50. with no real plan of what they were planning to do with it. So that's the kind of things that happen. And then that leads to falling into financial pitfalls. 23% of South Africans, 77% of South Africans do not have money at month end. So people are usually very angry just before 25th or the 30th, and they get a lot happier the day after, especially if it falls on a Friday, so we can waste it even quicker. And no savings and investments for most, and no cooking clue about assets and no idea of how to build that. Some not even knowing what that is when it comes to a personal aspect of things. Okay, so spot the cat. There's a cat somewhere in that picture. Can reference in terms by the door, by the rocks, by the fence. Where do you think the cat is?
Just below the rocks on the right, in the middle of the picture.
Okay, you see my mouse, right?
Yeah, go to the right.
My right or your right, Nyadla?
My right.
Right.
Oh, I see.
You see?
Yeah,
There
it's right
is the
there.
cat.
Right there.
Next challenge.
There's someone's feeling. Oh no, well done, well spotted. So well spotted. So have you done this before?
No, but I'm good with puzzles.
No, because that was very quick. That was fairly quick. I think that's one of the quickest. But maybe it's because it's on the computer, but in the live one takes some time. But no, well done. So that's the cat. I call that spot your financial cat. So as you can appreciate, I did economics and finance. I worked at a bank. So I learned a lot of things about finance and time value of money, the invisible hand, and all of these other terms in economic and finance terms. But in order to be okay with your money, you just really can ignore most of the noise that happens around you. And if you learn your financial cat and work your financial cat, then you will be okay. So that's the purpose of this slide, is that I know it's intimidating because it seems like it's so much to learn, but for you to be okay, out of the whole industry, you probably have to know this much. That is just specific